The following program is sponsored by Tropical Acres Steakhouse.
Hold the Mayo. It's time for Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Find out what's being served with Mike, Defo, and Lubie, the only show that covers food, sports, and the proper maintenance of your car. And now, a man who had the distinction of having an entire health clinic named in his honor, Mike Mayo.
I want the flim flam sauce with the awesome veggie with shafafa on the
Hey, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Today, we are at Wicked Cheesesteaks celebrating National Burger Day. And you say, what? Burgers at a cheesesteak place?
That.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Brian here, it's a variation on a burger. Instead of a round bun, he does a cheesesteak hoagie sub. It's beautiful. I'm sorry, cheeseburger.
Burger, yeah.
Burger hoagies. Have you ever had burger hoagies?
Don't think so. I do remember many years ago at Syracuse, there was a guy that ran a Wimpy Wagon. And he was way ahead of his time. It was a food truck, and he would put a double burger together, and it was the greatest thing ever. But I don't think I've had it as a cheese.
Could you pay him next Tuesday for a burger?
Well, most people didn't have any money at the
He'd be
time.
happy to pay you Thursday for it.
I mean, think about this. This is our early 70s.
So we just passed Memorial Day, Mike, and you're doing a food show. Did you get any sponsorship off of the Wienermobile race at Indianapolis 500?
I am not a fan of the Slaw Dog. That's what. Hey, welcome back to the Lunchbox. Kim Bocamper, Miami Dolphin great, and also renowned local restaurateur, absolutely killing it with the new catch and cut.
Yeah, we're really happy
Marcellus
with it. Really happy with it.
Yeah, and we'll get more into that later. But
look, I'm right around the corner. This is right next to my home. I mean, this is home base right here.
I sent out the bat signal. We had originally was supposed to be someplace else today. It fell through, and I always can depend on our man Brian here at Wicked Cheesesteaks, not just for a great lunch or dinner, great cheesesteaks and wings, but also in a pinch, you can come out and do a show here.
Yeah,
and I know you're around the corner. I said, hey, let's see if we can get Bo out here because it is playoff time. I've got my rat here, and no, Jeff Wines here. It's a fake rat. Don't come out here with your cameras
I see 11 violations.
Oh, God.
On the table, no less.
And I've got the rat ready to. Couldn't throw it the other night. I went to the game with my daughter, shelled out 7
What, you have a bad rotator cuff? You couldn't get it out?
No,
you
because
didn't
there were
win.
no goals and no victories. So that means
the
the rat stays home.
Yeah, and then you fire it against the glass and just let it sit there.
It's been riding around on my dashboard now.
You know, that rat thing has been that rat thing has been really good, really good. I remember going to
the old
it peaked. They'd have guys that would throw real rats out on the ice.
That was at the old Miami Arena, where they had real rats, and that was the whole genesis
Some
of the
mafia
story.
guy gets thrown out there.
I was telling my daughter, who's only 19 years old, about the genesis of why rats, and it was the night where Scott Mellenby in the old building during that third magical season, early in the season, there was a rat running around the locker room. He flicked his stick with the rat, and against the wall, wrist shot, killed the rat immediately, and then went out and scored 2 more goals that night, and it was dubbed the rat trick. And then it became a thing. Fans read about it, and they started bringing these plastic rats.
Used to bring dozens.
And then they made it to the Stanley Cup Finals that year. I know because I was there. I was a sports writer. I covered all those playoff games for the Sun Sentinel.
Maybe another big story was I was there, and Wayne and his wife were sitting right down on the corner on the ice, and all of a sudden, when someone scored, and she took out a fishing pole with a threw it on the ice when the kids were trying to pick it. She's like, reeling it in.
I thought you were going to say she got hit in the head with a squid. Now wait a minute, you didn't go to the gift shop and buy this rat.
So
did you? I mean, this concerns me a little.
Is it genuine?
It looks a little expensive.
To answer your question, $5
no wonder you didn't
for the
throw
rat.
it. No
I think $5 is much more reasonable than the hot dog or the water for $7.
I'm not sure you can't eat that.
This one I got at the Pantherland here on Federal Highway, where the team now trains next to the War Memorial.
Is that where you got
Auditorium.
that shirt? That's a nice shirt.
And I got the shirt. Actually, Val, my girlfriend, got me the shirt last year. Could chuck around to find out. This shirt is 2-0 this playoff season.
So you didn't pay
I'm gonna
for
wear
it
tonight.
Yeah. So you're upholding the tradition of
and
the
speaking
radio.
of rats, if you'll see the intro to some of these shenanigans, he's wearing a Rangers jersey last year.
Now, yes, I am a fair weather fan. I am on board fully with the Panthers because it's fun to appreciate talent. I mean, what do you think of this team? Are you a hockey fan now?
I am. I used to be a hockey fan when I was living in California. This is going way back. They had the California Golden Seals.
Yeah,
Charlie Finley owned them, and they had the same color uniforms as the baseball team. and he made his guys wear white skates, which I think they didn't like that very much.
Yeah.
But so we used to go watch hockey at the Oakland Coliseum back when it was the Broad Street Bullies.
Yeah,
Dave Schultz,
Flyers,
Bobby
yeah.
Clark,
Yeah.
all those guys. And so it was a pretty good. But then when I got out here, when there was no team here, there was no one to watch. But now it's
they did well their first. Well, they started in '93,
Yeah.
'94 season, and they made it to the Cup Finals in their third season, '96, and then it was a long drought in the desert. But it's fun to have a team that not only you can root for, but they're actually good. So
they're really good. They're really good hockey team, and I think Paul Maurice has done a good job. He's managed these guys really well, and they believe in him. And look, he throws in a little bit of style with a lot of toughness, and the chemistry. I think in that hockey team.
Yeah,
you can see it on the ice. You can see it off the ice.
And Bill Zito, the GM,
Yeah.
I mean, bringing in players every year, making these deals that, all right, so guys might be unrestricted free agents, but, you're getting a lot of stuff out of Brad Marchand.
Defo, when you were at Q's,
Seth
you were on
Jones.
weren't you playing some intramural ice hockey?
Can you imagine? No, they did have a hockey team, like a high-level minor league team, and a couple of guys actually that became professional announcers later on got their start doing those hockey games. I don't think Costas was one of them, but he was around there at that time. No, I always loved it. I go back to the 6-team league, of course. When you had all-stars coming off the bench on every shift. It was unbelievable. And then they went to 12, and now look at what's happening here. You got all these teams in the South that are doing well.
Well, it's funny. They got more hockey teams in the Sun Belt now than they do in Canada,
and they've been very successful because in hockey, give Gary Bettman credit. He's been the commissioner a long time, but he had the vision to know that if you're going to have expansion teams, make them good right away so that the local fan bases will embrace the teams.
That wasn't always the case. That changed when Vegas came in. But
no,
I'm just envisioning.
No, San Jose came in and did the
same
pretty
thing.
much same
and
thing.
the Panthers, year number 3.
But they did that by I think that was like ingenuity of the front office more so than any breaks they caught because. Who else came in? Tampa came in shortly after that. And they were no good.
They were no good for a long time.
Yeah. So I think they just they picked the right guys and they gelled together in that third year and went to the Stanley Cup final. I'm just envisioning Bo with a cross check. Can you imagine? You got it like Mayo looking like Ty Domi. He's against the boards there. And then here comes Bo.
I'd be the little Weasley
flying
guy.
in.
I used to play in those, the intramural games or whatever they were called.
Yeah.
At 2:00 in the morning because it's the only time you could get the ice.
Yeah.
And I had no brakes. My brakes were the boards. And I couldn't skate backwards.
You would get called for boarding.
By the way, I got to congratulate Lubie here. I understand.
Sir. Thank you.
He's a very intuitive guy, smart guy. Here he is. He's having his first baby just in time to get his first Social Security check.
Not only that, I mean,
he figured let me get the funds first.
Him and Shirley, they planned it out so that the baby is going to be born in November. He gets the tax break for the year 2025
there you go. Look at
without
that.
having to spend on actually diapers and all those things for the first 11 months of the year.
I knew you see.
They're serving Schwartz. That's your accountant. I mean, he's sharp.
It's brilliant.
That way.
I
You drop the baby in November,
some point,
December. Yeah.
Defo would rub off on Lubie,
That's
No,
He's
Lubie late
learning.
in life. We've been rooting for Lubie for a long time here.
He is learning the ways. All right. Meanwhile, so we've got the game 5 tonight. Hopefully the Panthers take care of business on the road. I've got my rat ready to chuck at the TV tonight, or maybe go back. Hopefully not go back on game 6 at the arena on Friday night.
Gets a little dicey if they don't win this game,
Yeah, I think they're going to put it away tonight.
I do too.
I think no
This
distractions.
is why I'm thinking I'm sending it in on Carolina. 'Cause, everybody is so confident that it's going to end tonight. Now, Bo, you're a professional athlete. You get to that point there where all of a sudden you throw the psych back on, and not necessarily pressure, but now it's 3-2 if they win tonight.
Yeah, I've never had that experience because we were always
In
one and done.
Yeah.
And so and we had a couple of them. Like the one year, I think one year we had a really good football team. I think it was a year after we went to our first Super Bowl. I believe we played Seattle, came in and beat us in the Orange Bowl, and then 2 years later, the year that we beat Chicago, and then we got beat by New England, who we beat, I think, twice during the season that year. So, but that would be my equivalent of getting the rug pulled out from under you.
But the thing is, like the past Dolphins, when they were doing the undefeated thing, I mean, I imagine they felt pressure going into that Super Bowl.
I would think so, yeah.
And they got the job done.
Well, they probably felt pressure more in the championship game because they had to go to Pittsburgh and play. They're undefeated. They're 16-0, and they got to go on the road.
But it's the same thing, right? You're going to 5-0 in a tennis set, and next
Yeah.
thing you know, it's like
Yeah,
30,
it's-
40, and you're thinking,
Yeah.
wait, if I lose this game, then the guy comes
It's
back.
like it's all this basketball. You see, team's down by 25 in the second quarter, and they end up winning the game on the last minute shot.
Yeah,
It's human nature. You get a little complacent if you're up big, and you say, "All right, I could kind of relax a little." You
Did
just
you
want
save
them to
the
keep the
receipt
pedal
on
to
the
the
rent?
No,
In case you have to
$5.
return it?
No.
I mean, if they win 3 in a row,
I'm gonna keep
okay,
it.
all right.
I know Wicked Cheesesteaks doesn't get complacent.
No. The
Cheesesteaks, yeah.
Brian is going to get us out some of our great food, including a burger sub for National Burger Day. And then, so let's talk some burgers, because I know that I had a really great one the other day at Catch and Cut during Sunday brunch service. You have the full menu, but I actually was in the burger mood, and I got besides getting the fried chicken, which was delicious.
Fried chicken's great. Yeah.
And that's another thing that the chef brought from his former stint at Joe's Stone Crab, is known for their fried chicken. Yours is a little bit different, I'd say. Even
Well, he wanted
better
to
than
change it. He
Joe's.
didn't want to be Joe's, and I do. I think it's funny because it's not breaded. It's not it's skin, but the skin's crispy.
It's crispy.
And the flavor, he
brined.
brines it for 2 days.
Yeah.
Really good stuff. But I'm with you on the burger. The first time, so my wife and I went. We'd been eating there a number of times, and I said, I want to try the burger. I said, because there's a lot of other stuff in the menu. I was in a burger mood, and I'll tell you, it was great.
Yeah,
it
hit the spot. And again, I am not a big fan of these smash burgers. I like a steak burger where you could order it medium rare and it's good quality meat.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I found there.
Yeah.
So job well done. It makes my list of places you can catch a burger on National Burger Day.
Nice.
I've got a full list. Do you
want
want to? I know you have some burger favorites, right?
I don't eat a lot of burgers at this point in time, but I did like Jack's Burgers, original hamburgers there on McNabb and Cypress, and then they have the other location on
right across
Federal
the street,
Highway.
right
yeah,
down the
on
street.
Federal Highway, right there.
I think they do a good job because they will cook the stuff to order. That's part of it.
Yep.
But look, everybody has their own favorites. Flanagan's gets rave reviews for burgers at a reasonable price.
That's a very reasonable burger.
Yeah, they make a good burger.
And it tastes good. It's char grilled. My list comprises, of course, Gilbert's, one of our great sponsors.
Gilbert's fantastic.
We're going to be there tomorrow with Burger Beast, Seth Gonzalez. We're going to be celebrating Burger Day a day late, or actually right on time for Hialeah time. So I don't know if that's a pejorative, but on some side.
I was at Hialeah Park the other day. Last Friday, I had to go over there to meet with the great Steve Calabro, and I can't believe how it's changed. They put up all these apartments there.
I have not been there in years.
So is there the track's just not
the
there?
track's still there.
Oh, it's still there.
The Flamingos is still there.
So they
The building
train.
looks
They
the
train. They train
but
horses.
some of the land, no, there's no racing going on. But some of the land has been developed now, and it's amazing. I hadn't been there in about 3-4 years.
I haven't been there since before the pandemic.
Kind of crazy, yeah.
Yeah,
I'd say that place when I first came out here, one of the things I wanted to see was Hialeah. And boy, I tell you, it didn't disappoint. This was 1976,
Oh, no,
77.
I mean,
it was spectacular.
The facilities, impressive. Those, statues, the marble, the staircases. It was featured in The Godfather, for God's sake.
That's all still there.
And that I love the infrastructure of the place is gorgeous.
It's beautiful.
They actually built a really nice poker room and casino facility, and I think hopefully one day maybe they will get racing dates again and get it going.
Doesn't sound like it.
You never know what's going to happen.
I think racing is facing a little tough battle here.
We are starting
Look at
off
this.
our
All right.
multi-course lunch today. Thank you, Brian.
Smells great.
Proprietor of Wicked Cheesesteaks. It's at 4824 North Federal Highway, right across from
Everybody loves this
Holy
guy.
Cross Hospital. He's the friendliest guy in town. He even brings the red pepper flakes to the table for those who want. So back to the burgers. Gilbert's I love. There's a place in Wilton Manors nearby called Burgers and Beers. There's a guy from Ohio named Joe, and he does a great job.
There's another place I go because we moved right here to Oakland Park. So there's a nice sub place there, but I always drive by that burger place, and I saw it in a couple of times when they did the best burgers. He's been around that.
You should go in
legit.
there. It's legit.
It's really good.
He does it, and the nice part is he can do it one of 3 ways. He does it on a flat top if you want, and he can make it a smash burger if you want. He has a char grill, so he could just do it on a char grill. And he also has a cast iron skillet.
Oh yeah,
he'll do a cast iron skillet for you if you want. And I love everything about the joint. It's a kind of hole in the wall, small but great burgers. Other places to consider today on Burger Day is Charm City Burgers. Our man
Charm City does a great job.
Mike Saperstein, who owns and operates the Sunshine Provisions Meat Company. Him and his partner, Evan David, they operate Charm City. It's up in Deerfield on Hillsborough. They've been supposedly going to be moving Charm City, but it still hasn't moved yet. I think they were going to go up the road a little bit.
Bigger. It's really tiny.
And CJ Black's and Davy does a great burger, including a knockoff of the In-N-Out burger. They do the animal style dipped in mustard. Batch, our friends at Batch New Southern Kitchen, yesterday up in Palm Beach, West Palm, but they also, of course, have it here in downtown Fort Lauderdale. The Dirty South Burger, which I didn't realize they smoke their own cheeses.
Yeah, which is cool.
2 types of smoked cheeses, smoked Gouda and cheddar, on top of a burger with their own special sauce and fire and ice pickles.
You have someone on there that does the mix, the blend.
The blend,
the blend, the beef,
like a brisket,
and brisket, and,
yeah. Well, that's Char Hut. They do a brisket,
exactly. You're right. That's right.
Brisket burger. And I don't know about you, but remember the old Dolphins training facility in St. Thomas University down in that, I guess Miami.
Yeah, you're not going to talk about
Gardens.
Lums, are you?
Huh?
You're not talking about Lums, are you?
Well, no, I was talking about there was a Char Hut that was like almost right around the corner in Miami Gardens. And Craig Dolch, who used to be the beat writer for the Palm Beach Post, the Dolphins, when I first started, he would make runs up to Char Hut like every day for lunch. And I first got turned on to it.
I first ran into them. Yeah, I was running down. They had one on 441. Just north of the stadium, where the stadium is now, and I drove by. Oh, that looks like I'm an adventurous guy. I said it looks pretty good, and so I've been going there ever since. It's really one of my great favorite stops. Yeah.
And last but not least, our friends over at Even Keel Fish Shack over there in Lauderdale by the sea.
What happened to your man, Jeffrey Eats?
Jeffrey, of course, Jeffrey Eats. I was just thinking Broward, but yeah, Jeffrey Eats up in outside the brewery in Boca Raton, and again, that's on Rogers Circle. I forget the name of the brewery because I'm 59 and senile at this point. But Jeffrey Eats has a great food truck based burger operation. That's great. But again, for those who want smash burgers, I highly recommend our friends at Even Keel Fish Shack, because they do a double smash burger with a special sauce. And they have the I get that fancy bacon that they use from I think it's Benton's Benton's bacon. And I'm not a big smash burger fan, but I'm a big fan of their burgers because it really tastes good. So again, that rounds out I think it's like a top 10.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Burgers on Burger Day.
Sounded like 20 there, Bo. What did you think?
Who's counting? Anyway, it's
go it's enjoy a loose number. It's a floating number.
Go enjoy a burger.
A lot of good burgers.
And one note, Even Keel, they did announce over the weekend that they have sold and are no longer operating on Las Olas Boulevard. And I did text with Dave and Brad, and they said it's for the best. They got an offer. It just wasn't the right fit down there, but they are still going strong down on the beach at your neck of the woods there, Lauderdale by the sea, Commercial and A1A.
Yeah, I've ridden my bike down there and had some stuff. It's a really good place.
It's they do a great job. High-end seafood in a very casual setting. They are doing some good stuff. Hey, let's take our first break, and we'll come back and we'll talk more sports, food, and everything with Kim Camper, Jeff DeFotoForest, Mike Daddy Lubitz, and myself. But first, let me do a live spot for our presenting sponsor today, Tropical Acres Steakhouse. Guess where I was last night for happy hour and dinner?
Acres.
Tropical Acres. It was a Tuesday night. It was a half-price wine night. It was also a half-price happy hour in the bar from 4:30 to 6:30. I had my goddaughter, niece, came into town. She just graduated Ohio State. She's doing a little R&R. She has a new car. She drove down from Ohio. She saw a friend in Daytona Beach over the long weekend, and then she made her way down to Michelle's and my daughter, Natalia. She's going to hang out with them for a couple of days, maybe weeks. She doesn't have a job until August. She's going to be a school teacher. Nice. But her request was, I want to go to Tropical Acres. Nice. This is a very bright young lady. She's 21 years old, and she wants to go to Tropical Acres because she knows how good a value it is.
So let me ask you, so when you go to Tropical Acres, what do you get? What's your order?
So this was great.
Porterhouse?
Last night, because it is now the Twin Lobster special season, you get twin freshly steamed New England lobsters, 2 of them for $39 with a salad and a side dish. These 1.25 pound lobsters. I split that with my goddaughter, and we also split their great prime rib. Ooh. So we did a surf and turf splitting.
Nice.
And then we also had a half-price bottle of wine. I mean, it's incredible because you get all this food and it comes out to like $50 per person. You can't beat these deals at Tropical Acres. and the Studiali family. They've been in running the place for decades. It's been open over 75 years. You know they're doing something right. 2500 Griffin Road. We're going to be there doing a show next week, a week from today, Wednesday.
Nice.
We're going to catch up with Jack and his sons Joe and Jackson and see what's going on for the summer months there. They always have incredible deals and, of course, the greatest hospitality. Tropical Acres. They are going to be open Father's Day from I think it's 3 to 9 p.m. and go give them a call for a reservation today, 954-989-2500. Catch and Cut, open Father's Day, I imagine.
I believe we are, yes.
For all day or brunch and dinner?
Brunch and on, but I think we stay open till 9.
Okay,
yep.
That's good. Treat that. It used to be Father's Day, be a time you make Dad go out to the grill and grill some steaks. Yeah. You give him a tie and a beer, and you say, "There, go cook
go
for
work."
us." But I think now more people are catching wise to the fact that dads want to be pampered too.
Yeah.
We want to be taken out. Give us an old
Don't
fashioned.
give him some food. Give him some Old Spice. That's all you need.
That's all I need with
high
shirts.
karate.
And soon, Lubie will also be feeded to the Father's Day treats, and
those first few though are a little rough if you're the father, as compared to later on when the kid has money.
Yeah, it's like what can you get for Father's Day? Diapers. Bring more diapers.
And as Bo knows, the only thing better than half price, like they're having at Tropical Acres, is completely free. But that's hard to find.
Well, it's
those kind of specials.
Hang out with me. I find people who pay for me. It's good. All right, no, that's it. We're going to take our first break. We'll come back with more with Kim Bokamper at the Fabulous Wicked Cheesesteaks in Fort Lauderdale after these words. When people ask me about the best restaurants in South Florida, Casa D'Angelo is always at the top of my list. First-class dining, top-flight service, elegant atmosphere, and chef-founder Angelo Ilia is legendary. The flagship in Fort Lauderdale has been serving the finest Italian cuisine since 1997, with other locations in Boca Raton and Aventura. As Angelo himself says, they have an unwavering commitment to unparalleled quality with meticulous attention to details. It's so good, with house-made pastas, pristine seafood, unique meats like elk chops and bison, and seasonal specialties including fragrant fresh truffles from Italy. All locations open 7 days for dinner. Reservations recommended for a special occasion or any occasion. Casa D'Angelo. Tell them Mike Mayo sent you. Hey, it's Mayo for Gilbert's 17th Street Grill. You know me, I love family-run places with quality food at fair prices served with passion and pride. And that's why I love Gilbert's. For more than a decade, Lenore, Beth, and Richie Gilbert have been serving up the best burgers, wings, ribs, salads, and desserts. It's a fast casual spot. Everything prepared fresh to order from an immaculate open kitchen. They're at 1821 Cordova Road in Fort Lauderdale in the Cordova Shops just south of 17th Street. Open every day but Sunday. One of my favorite burgers in South Florida. Big on juicy pucks of 100% Angus beef, char grilled to perfection. And don't miss the sweet potato fries on the side. They're legendary. Go to Gilbert's, feast, and be happy. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Delicious Mexican food with innovative twists. Margaritas with a medley of tongue-tingling flavors. I'm talking about Taco Craft, Taqueria, and Tequila Bar. The place to go on Taco Tuesday and every day. It's located at 510 North Federal and Highway in Fort Lauderdale, and also in Lauderdale by the Sea at Plantation Walk and Coral Springs. Taco Craft has specials every day, including bottomless drinks for Sunday brunch, and Taco Tuesdays, including their new burrilla tacos with bone marrow broth. Oh, it's so good. They've even made a taco lover out of me, and they've got so much more, including fajitas, that open-faced smashed cheeseburger tortilla that's new, and a guacamole sample that's an explosion of flavors. The kitchen is open late. There's delivery and takeout. For more information, go to tacocraft.com. When people come to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial, serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce,
and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, oh, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Feel like getting away without leaving town? Then you got to check out the House on the River in Fort Lauderdale. It's a beautiful restored historic home with indoor and outdoor dining right on the New River. You'll think you're in Charleston or Savannah. It has a gorgeous patio, porches, and private dining areas, and it offers unique experiences perfect for a date night or fun times with friends and family. It has weekend brunches, happy hour, dinner Wednesday through Sunday. There's also a high tea on Friday and Saturdays, and the popular House of Veuve Champagne experience on weekends. The House on the River is in Fort Lauderdale's Himmershey district, just south of the Science Museum. For reservations and
All right, we're back on the Lunchbox. We're at Wicked Cheesesteaks right here in North Federal, right across from Holy Cross Hospital. And we are with Kim Bocamper, Miami Dolphins great and great restaurateur, Jeff Defo DeForest, Mike Lubie. Did you get this root beer in honor of Lubie today? It's a Dad's root beer.
It was always a popular brand.
Yeah, Dad's.
Interesting.
And for the new
that's the other
Dad's.
thing about he's not only a cheesesteak guy, he's a root beer guy. He got all different kind of root beers from
love that.
all over the place.
Yeah, and he's got some good diet root beers too. Now that I'm trying to lay off the sugars, but
Good luck on that.
Yeah, well, I've got my LaCroix fancy sparkling water, which is also a Panther sponsor. And speaking of Panther, I got my beard going. Weird things are going on. My daughter says I had to start using gel on it because it was looking too unkempt. And I started. She doesn't like the gray, so she got me this black ink gel, hair gel, and also I put the black ink gel in my hair and my beard today, and now I'm afraid I'm going to go full on Rudy Giuliani and start sweating and just
you're gonna sweat through
rivulets of black ink going down.
You got to go just for men. Get that's easy.
I don't know. God. I might need to go full Norelco and just shave the freaking thing. I can't wait till the playoffs.
Ask Joe Rose how he does it.
The same way Gene Katie.
Exactly.
So meanwhile, this morning after I took the walk, I went to my local BJ's wholesale club. I had some shopping to do. And, on the way out, there's the women that are hawking the storm window. And she walks up to me. She goes, new windows, home improvements. And I just looked at her. I said, do I look like I have a home? I'm going for the full home. So then she just kind of
so bad
running away. So meanwhile, we talked during the break. We did a great, one of our spots is for our great sponsor, Casa D'Angelo. And recently, they had a Dan Marino, Damon Heward wine dinner, the Passing Time Winery Vineyards. I couldn't make it that night, but I understand you were there.
Yeah, I was there. Obviously Danny was there. Mike Pouncey was there.
Oh wow.
There's a bunch
Damon
of
was there.
Damon was there.
How was the wine?
The wine is fantastic.
Yeah,
it's really good. I've had his wine before. It's all Washington wine.
Yeah, Washington State is the new hotbed of wine activity.
They kind of go around the region and they select the grapes that they want, and then they put it together in their winery. And I think it's there's a lot of celebrity wines out there. A lot of them are just pre-made, and they slap a label on it and try to scam some people out of some money. But this is a real winery.
Yeah.
And
I think I saw pictures of Marino actually stomping on He
did. He did. He had that. He was
careful, that man.
Lucille Ball was next to him.
Stereotyping Danny boy. Come on.
I'm not.
But no, I tell you, it's a very good wine, and it's one of those wines that you can check one. You got one with the other, and you can tell the two distinct differences in them.
Good it is, nice.
But still, the level of the quality is very good.
You're gonna find this hard to believe, Bo, but I actually was in Casa D'Angelo 3 nights before the wine dinner. I was celebrating the anniversary of me and my girlfriend, 2 years, and we had dinner. And I know I couldn't make it to the wine dinner, so I actually ordered a bottle and paid for it myself off the menu.
Look at that.
The Cabernet Sauvignon. Yeah. It was excellent.
Walla Walla? Was it with the Walla Walla?
You know what? I forget which one it was. All I remember was $280 on
there
the
you
menu.
Go. You never
Walla Walla.
You'll never forget that, right?
But it was good. It ranked comparably with any of the premium boutique California Napa vineyards. Your Screaming Eagles and your
I agree with you. It's in that
the Camuses.
Look, whatever they charge for it,
silver
I
oak.
think they're in that range, right?
And it's going to
I don't think you can say you're getting under. You're not getting. You're getting what you paid for.
I think it retails for like 100, 120
Right.
a bottle. And it's
Right.
one of those wines. It was young. It was a 2022. And it could lay down in the cellar for another 5 to 10 years, and I'm sure it's just going to improve with the age. And it was drinking really well, even for a young Cabernet. Listen to me, I'm going.
Well,
to
we
full
went. I think it was like I want to say it was a 6-course dinner, and Angelo himself cooked all the meal.
The two Angelos there, because he's got obviously Angelo Ilia, legendary, and then his chef de cuisine Angelo Massanova there, and they just do a tremendous
fantastic
job.
It's one of our favorite places. But but for Danny, I think I think his wine fits there. I think, in fact, I was just talking to our chef Andre this morning, and we were talking about maybe reaching out to them and doing a little bit of that on ours.
Yeah, no, that's great. Yeah, that would be a perfect fit down at Catch and Cut. And
I'll tell you what, Danny's Danny. Danny comes out and goes, yeah, we got this wine from Washington. It's really good wine. Damon, tell him about it.
That's great.
I can totally see that.
But they've got, but what's nice is it's not flamboyant. They don't got Danny on the label. They don't, but they do have some little nuance to it.
Yeah.
When you pull out the cork, it's got the threads of a football.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
No, it's very subtle. And
very
again,
subtle. Yeah.
The name itself, Passing Time, is a really clever play on words. And no, good luck to him. And I just think Washington State, because of climate change and the warming, that it's going to be the new Napa Valley. I think it's getting a little too hot in the valley now. It takes real skill now to produce and manage these vineyards that are in Napa and even Sonoma, because it's getting up like 120 degrees during the daytime. Washington, it's a little bit more temperate, and we'll see where it leads. But I think it's a very wise investment to have vineyards and wineries in Washington, Oregon, and now even maybe British Columbia might be the new place to go. But well, I'm glad that you got there and that you checked it out.
Yeah, it was good. It was very good.
That's cool. All right, I've got some more things to discuss in terms of playoffs are ongoing, both NBA and NHL. One of the great places to watch it is at Boat Campers.
Sure.
You still got a bunch of them going, right?
Yeah, we got Oakland Park, and then we have Bows Beach, where we're showing the games down there on the end of southern tip of Fort Lauderdale Beach.
Right.
We're reimagining our plantation restaurant. I think we're going to put a steak press restaurant in there, and we may take a little bit of catch and cut and kind of blend it in there.
It seems to be a really popular concept now.
And so we're trying to trim down. We were in Naples and it kind of got broad, gotten out there, and so we're just kind of tightening down. We'd like to have
Plantation. Was Plantation the original?
Was original, yeah.
And the one on the Intracoastal, that's still going, although
it's not. Well, it's someone put in a bid for the thing, and then they went, and then it was something about where the council or something wanted to do this or that, and they bailed out, which is fine for us because God forbid that the land's not going to go down.
It's okay to just sit on that
because
land
we own that. We own all that
a
property. We own that whole block. So
so
we can just sit there on that thing. And I think what our with Angelo that that came to us from Joe's, like we got him in Orlando. I mean in October, on our staff. And he went around to different restaurants and
and he's been upgrading
a little bit.
So I'll check it out.
So I think what we're going to do is during this summer season, we're going to go and kind of reimagine that and just keep it a sports bar, keep it what it is, but just upgrade.
And I imagine during football season, Dolphins games, it just kills because people love being on the water and
well, look,
atmosphere.
So there's nothing wrong with hockey season.
These games get some people out there. Yeah,
and it's just you got any team in Fort Lauderdale or in South Florida that's playing for a championship, a national championship. We're gonna get packed in there.
Yeah, that's great. So again, Boat Campers, don't forget during this playoff run, the hockey season, and also NBA.
Got pretty good burgers there too, Mike.
And burgers are good.
Good job.
And then some other options, Shenanigans down in Hollywood. Our friend Pat Otto, actually Dania Beach, technically. I might be going down there tonight, meet some friends. They have a good burger too for Burger Day. And Big D's. Oh, well, not Big D. It's just called D's Sports Bar next to the new Daniel's Steakhouse.
Yeah.
That's in my neighborhood now, Rio Vista, right around the corner. Very convenient.
I think when it gets to this level, maybe even the last series with the Panthers, it's fun to be out where there's people,
you
right?
Want crowds.
You want energy.
Yeah.
You get the whole thing, and yeah, it's
It's a fun social activity, and now the Panthers are having these watch parties down near their practice facility and all that. But I know Lubie likes to just stay home and curse loudly and scream at Bobrovsky.
I don't want to ruin anyone else's time.
Yeah,
honestly, I just keep to myself. But and
I have a little bit of that.
When it's other teams, I love being at a sport. Like especially like if it was the Knicks Pacers last night.
Yeah,
I couldn't only imagine to be at a bar because we have a lot of Knicks fans. So I presume the Knicks fans were rolling around.
So just as long as you don't have a stake in the team,
bingo,
you'll be happy to be with the crowds. I get it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Game 5 tonight. So let's take our second break, and then after that, I want to come back and talk about one of my favorite things, which is like looking at potential matchups in the finals, NBA and Stanley Cup, from a food perspective, and it's looking pretty grim this year on all fronts, except for the Florida Panthers.
The Panthers,
but
unless Dallas could squeeze in, Dallas
has a decent.
Dallas got some pretty good.
I don't
food.
think that's happening, and we'll talk about the virtues and the drawbacks.
Last night, didn't they?
They did. They got waxed.
There goes Dallas.
It is 3-1 Edmonton, and it is looking more and more like a rematch of last year's finals. But we'll break it down from a food perspective after these words on the Lunchbox.
For the finest poultry and the freshest fish, Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market, located at 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood, open 7 days. Since 1951, a South Florida tradition for stone crab in season, Thanksgiving turkeys, holiday feasts, and everyday eating. Great steaks, house-made sausage, and prepared foods, too. Delaware is not just a market, it's a celebration of taste, quality, and old-fashioned customer service with a smile. Sign up for their weekly email flyer at DelawareChicken.com and tell them Mike Mayo and the Lunchbox sent you. When the Brooklyn boy in me wants a great bagel with lox, matzo ball soup, deli sandwich, and rugelach, you know where I go? Grandpa's Restaurant in Dania Beach. It's a South Florida institution since 1957 that was revamped a few years back by a pair of New York bagel baking legends. Full deli and appetizing case with spreads, salads, and platters for takeout and catering. Grandpa's is near Federal Highway, just north of Sterling Road, open 7 days for breakfast and lunch. Go eat and enjoy. It's Mike Mayo's Lunchbox approved. For the finest and authentic Greek cuisine, Taverna Kima is the place to go. 6298 North Federal Highway in Boca Raton. It's been around for nearly 2 decades. Every day is a feast with grilled lamb and fish, house-made spinach pie and moussaka, gyros, traditional dips, mezes, with soft, warm pita. It's open 7 days for lunch and dinner with happy hour daily from 3 to 6 p.m., indoor, outdoor, private dining. So celebrate life at Taverna Kima. For reservations and information, go to tavernakima.com. When I get a craving for real Southern barbecue, Fat Boys Barbecue is the place that I call home. Cooked low and slow with proper smoke and dry rub goodness, Fat Boys has some of the best ribs, brisket, burnt ends, pulled pork, and chicken around. 5 delectable sauces and the tastiest collard greens, candied yams, and cornbread this side of heaven. 4 locations, including Deerfield, Coral Springs, Cypress Creek Road, and their newest location in downtown Fort Lauderdale, 706 South Federal Highway. Open 7 days with great lunch specials, online ordering, delivery, catering, and food trucks for your next event. To order, go to fatboysbarbecue.com today. That's Fat. The finest quality, warm hospitality, and world-class creativity. Those are the ingredients that make Daniel's, a Florida steakhouse, a special place. Come experience the restaurant that's Michelin Guide recommended and totally Mike Mayo's Lunchbox approved, with an impressive collection of steaks, seafood, and more, like their foie gras creme brulee. Daniel's is located at 620 South Federal Highway in Fort Lauderdale, just south of the New River Tunnel, open Tuesday through Sunday for dinner. For reservations and information, go to danielssteak.com. Hey, it's Mayo here for Prezzo Italian Restaurants. 2 locations, Boca Raton at Park Place on Military Trail and Palm Beach Gardens in the PGA Commons on PGA Boulevard. Contemporary Italian cuisine with house-made pastas, wood-fired pizzas, salads, veal, chicken, and of course their famous focaccia bread with oven-roasted garlic bulbs. In Garlic We Trust is their slogan, and you can trust Prezzo for a great experience with gracious service and tremendous value. Open 7 days featuring brunch, lunch, dinner, and happy hour. Great wine deals and full bar at both locations. For reservations and more information, go to eatprezzo.com. A tradition for South Florida sports fans for more than 30 years, Shenanigans. It's at 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach, the place to go for all your favorite teams and events and food that's not your ordinary sports bar fare. Award-winning wings, burgers, fresh fish, and more, TV screens galore, and all-day happy hour specials. The kitchen and bar are open into the wee hours, perfect for late-night bites and very close to the airport. For playoff action, football season, and a good
All right, we're back. I was getting a little hydrated there, and we are enjoying our subs. We got a chicken Philly cheesesteak, well, or chicken Philly. It's not a steak. And Defo is eating that. Your review on
Fantastic, really a great job. I actually had one somewhere else yesterday that I think is they do a great version of it, and this is right there with it.
that? And you got the hot sauce, the
yeah,
wicked
and
cheesesteak hot sauce.
he has some of the best hot sauce that he makes himself here, Brian. I always rank that's a go-to hot sauce for me.
And Bo Camper, you slammed down that burger
I did.
sub, huh? How
I
was
did.
that? Yeah,
I got the middle piece, so it was easy to eat. But I got to tell you, it was outstanding.
good. Lubie's making a mess over there.
Well, see, I had a messy. You know, when it gets messy with me, I just kind of get done with it.
I've got my third. I think I'm going to save this for a big bite in
There you
honor
go.
of Bo.
Oh,
and,
nice.
But
and
I'm gonna tell you what.
it's not every day I do a big bite anymore.
Not
but
everyone.
This one,
I've been
looks-
to I've been to one place, I forget where it was, that did it, and I always wondered why didn't more some places you do a burger, and I tell you this is outstanding.
It's good. You know, everybody's so used to eating the round bun, and
Mhm.
I think if you like chop up the burger and
Yeah.
put it and dress it up, and
It's like a burger and a half.
yeah, it's beautiful. And Brian does a nice job dressing it
Mhm.
with the lettuce, tomato, a little mayo.
And you
put
said
a little ketchup.
it's a thick burger.
Yeah,
Right?
it's good. It's good. And I'm gonna save that until we go out to the third break and just stuff it all in my face in one big bite. Before we do that,
It's always impressive when you do that.
um,
Did we ever have anybody doing that on any of those sports shows where they would just like swallow a sandwich whole?
it's
I don't remember that.
it's an element
well-
that I think
well,
the
when you're-
not
pregame
even
shows
Sonny
could use.
Hirsch.
When you
yeah,
when
he
you
was
get
eating.
to when you get to the 7, 6,
Yeah.
5, you got to get it in there.
I've seen Hank Goldberg down a couple of plates when he was doing shows
Well.
at Calder, but I guess that wasn't on the air. It was in
My
between.
favorite ever was literally they used to just absolutely capitulate to Hank's most bizarre idiosyncratic demands. And so one day the guy literally comes down from the turf club and he takes the silver thing off and it's like pheasant under glass.
Right.
And Hank goes, "What? I didn't order that. Where are the fries?" And I'm like, you couldn't make this guy happy. It was when it came to food.
That's funny. Well, you knew when Hank was having a good day or a bad day at the windows exactly based on his mood.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Nothing rivaled Eddie Kaplan, though, who I've been hearing a lot about. I mean to give him a call when he was sweating out the late Quinella double at Dania Highlight at 3 a.m. on WQAM. And he's like, well, if the 2 beats the 6 and the 6 beats the 4, then I need the 5 to go out the door. And if that happens, then I've got a consolation also. You're like, well, Eddie, what the hell are you talking about?
I remember driving home late. Probably was out somewhere I shouldn't have been. Probably shouldn't have been driving. And you turn on and there's Eddie with the, they're in the 19th inning.
Can't believe these A's can't
4 a.m. in the
score.
morning.
I love that. You know what?
I should do an over-under leaving
Let me
Panther
tell you
games.
what, that
Yeah.
was, you know what the one thing about Eddie's show? It was all about sports.
Yeah.
Right.
With no nonsense.
No, no
it was
baloney. No speculation
No,
about
no.
trades or anything.
So I remember I first met Eddie. I came down here in June of '89. I was 23 years old, a punk, but I loved horse racing, and I would listen to his show, and I loved the way he would always be talking about the double tri
Yeah.
Quinella exactas
Oh,
and
man.
everything. And I met him. There was an event because the Breeders' Cup was being held at Gulfstream later that year. They had a kind of a preview luncheon for it. And I was assigned to do it for the Sun Sentinel, and I was there, and I met Eddie Kaplan. I just walked up and I said, "Eddie Kaplan, I got to say, I'm new to town, but I love you. I love your show. You're a true degenerate."
Well, that's
And
the
he-
highest of compliments.
And he looked a
Yeah.
little offended by it, but
We used to have an over-under. My son and I, when we left Panther games, we went to a lot of Panther games together, and it was kind of a bonding thing there when we weren't living together all the time. And we have an over-under on what number of calls Eddie would take after the game before he exploded on somebody. And it was always 2 and a hook. It was always 2 and a hook. And then, sometimes he would blow up on the first guy, but usually he'd be like, okay, yeah, that's a great idea. They should, just eliminate the red line.
he had no patience for people.
Yeah.
Like people
Yeah, it was great.
did not know baseball at
Yeah.
all down
Oh,
here.
yeah.
And when people would start,
Yeah.
doing the second guessing,
You know,
of the
there's
managers.
a couple guys like that, you know, sports talk, you know, changed where, you know, when you started taking calls and all
Right.
that, then it became a little haywire. And you kind of, and then no one, you know, they only got the sports they want to, football, baseball, and baseball has kind of gone in and out now. But the guys that are the hardcore guys. So you got Eddie and you got oh God, I just said it.
Who is it? John Waynahan?
No. Bluestein, Larry Bluestein.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God,
Larry
Bluestein was
Bluestein
high school
on
with the
high
blue
school
chips.
sports.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I
Oh
mean,
my God.
he's
You knew
so-
everything.
So I'm driving home one day, and Joe Rose got him on his show. I'm talking to Bluestein, and he says, "Hey, you know, some guy called and just wanted to know, you know about the South Florida has really good high school football, but you know, there's some pretty good youth teams." He went on a diatribe from Liberty City to Boca Raton
Wow. Oh, really?
about the 9 to 15-year-old.
This guy was something.
I mean, he knew.
He
He goes,
scouted.
"Oh, there's a guy down there in Liberty City. He's 8 years old. Boy, you're gonna be hearing from him."
It's like me discussing burgers. The guy knew his territory.
That's right.
Bluestein was the number one authority.
But I
Yeah.
miss those, you know, WID days, WQAM
Yeah.
days. But here
Well,
we
I
are.
remember
It's a
when you
new
remember
era.
that, Defo, because when I got here, the only sports talk was WIOD 6 to 8. Right, that was it.
That was it.
But I remember
And that was Sonny Hirsch. Was
I
that
hope-
Sonny?
Sonny started it, but then it became you
Sonny,
and-
Hank. There was a rotating bunch of guys, and
Yeah.
I ended up getting that show, which was great.
Yeah.
And then QAM came on with all
Right.
sports.
And then I hope you remember it because you were on the first team, right?
Yeah.
I was the second guy on the first team.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah,
Ah,
I came in a little after it started.
Okay, I don't.
The great Dave Lamont,
was the original
who
lineup.
right now is calling balls and strikes, but they're rolling down the alley.
Yeah.
It was Dave Lamont and Jimmy Cepolo
Yeah.
became the first team.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They were the
original
first first team.
Yeah.
Then came Goldie.
Joe
Joe Rose.
Joe was there, and then they had who's the guy? Now I'm blanking. Channel 7 for so many years.
Oh, Steve
Shapiro?
Shapiro, yeah.
Really?
Shapiro,
was
yeah,
on?
yeah.
So look at the talent that
Oh,
came in the radio down. You had Boog.
Yep.
Yeah.
You had Bob Wischusen.
Bob Wischusen came.
Goldie,
Great, yeah.
Goldie,
Goldie's
all
still
those
here.
guys that came in and really became national guys and,
Oh, yeah.
and prominent guys from around the country. It's
They got their
and then obviously the old guys, Hank Goldberg and Sonny Hirsch, and just all those guys that you know. It just got to be funny when Hank was doing live shows from Tootsie's and he's asking what the lunch menu was.
let me ask you this, because when you first started, you know, you made the transition from playing to broadcasting. Did you get kind of like sideways glances from some of the guys who were like pure broadcasters?
I used to curse him out every day. What is this Jack
most-
doing in here? I went to school for this.
Most notably Steve Shapiro.
Oh, really?
Steve hated us.
Oh, wow.
I mean, he was you guys haven't done anything. I said, "Well, Steve, let me ask you. So what happened if you got fired from this job, and what would you do?" He goes, "I'd get another one." Well, you know, you get fired from playing football and you're 30 years old. There's
there's
nowhere to
nothing
go.
else.
There's no other
Right.
job.
There's
You
nowhere
gotta
to go.
start-
You got to go. It's got to start from scratch.
Start being very
And
entrepreneurial.
look, and Steve and I have become very close friends now.
That's
But
cool. You know,
he was
me,
one of
me and him went to the same school. He's a
Did-
Tufts jumbo.
Yeah.
Steve Shapiro went to Tufts, and
Yeah.
he still lives down here. I
Yeah.
think. I see
But
him
I
out
got to
last
tell you,
week. Yeah.
Steve, Joe. You know, for me, I was doing the pregame show for when Joe Zagacki left QAM, and you were doing the pregame show with Joe.
Yeah.
And who else? I don't know whoever else was there. It was just the two of you.
Yeah, we had a couple
So
of
then
people on it.
Joe skipped, and then they brought me in to fill in for him, and so I'm doing it. Me and Defo are doing 4 hours of pregame
yeah.
show, and I didn't know what the hell I'm doing, and you know, and fortunately Defo kind of got me going and figured it out. He goes, just tell stories.
But honestly,
That's it.
if you just do that, that's half the
Fill the
thing.
time. People
But
they
I
like
was-
stories.
But I was on the cusp. Excuse me. I was on the cusp of being fired. I'd done 2 or 3 pregame shows, and what was the guy? Was the program
Oh,
director?
Steve Nickel.
Steve Nickel.
Yeah.
And he called me in the office and says, "Hey, I don't know how this is going. It's not really going very well." And then something happened, and you missed.
I got fired.
You got, well, there's something that
Yeah.
happened.
'Cause I wanted to do a boxing match
Right.
that I had already accepted the plane tickets and the
Right.
cash for. And they told me, listen, whatever you want to do with that, that's fine. And I missed a pregame show, and they made a big commotion out of it. And, and you came back.
Steve Nickel come. I wasn't fired. He says, you're close, and so he comes in and he doesn't know what he's talking about. So now it's on me, and so I'm kind of just spitting stuff out. And he goes, hey, you need to keep doing this. So it kind of gave me a little.
It's like anything else. You need to get a little
you
bit more comfortable, and then
like I just walked off the street.
Yeah,
I had no.
But you bring your expertise from being in the trenches.
But you need to. But I think for anybody that's doing this, like I know Teron Armstead wants to do it. I've talked to him a lot about it, and I said, look, you got to be yourself, and you got to. You can't just agree with everybody.
Oh no,
right. You can't. If someone says, hey, they're going to do this, I go, no, I don't know they're going to do.
But you got to be honest. It's got to come from a place
of
doubt. Yeah, of honesty and not just trying to create controversy.
Yeah. Unless, of course, that's appropriate, which because you're not going to get anywhere by telling the truth.
And the one thing I learned from Defo is throw much nonsense as you can.
Well,
it kind of covers up. For the smell.
You can't remember the coach's name.
Sometimes.
Yeah, look, humor, wit is always a big positive thing, but it is hard, especially if you're going to be an analyst or whatever, where you got like 5 seconds to make a coaching point. Not always easy.
4 hours of pregame was about 3 hours and change too much.
Well, at that time, I would stay after the game and do 4 hours of postgame.
That was also
by myself.
By yourself.
Back then, though, you would have calls going
all
calls
and
then little snippets of sound from the locker room where you get nothing but cliches.
Yeah, the Collins were great.
I'm never going to another game again.
They need to fire that shit.
Camper, you shill.
Then next week, the same guy calls, we're going to the Super Bowl.
Where can I get tickets?
All right.
One thing about it is I always thought it was a better show when they lost.
Yes,
because when they won, everyone's just, hey, it was a great game. Come on.
It's funny. We've talked about that with Dave Hyde.
As a sports columnist, the losing locker room is always better.
Favorite. Yeah. And now the problem is, if they lose too long, then it becomes malaise and they don't care. But when they would have expectations, Crying Town Monday was our favorite day because the lines would light up and people would be so pissed, and Defo would be giddy.
Let's go to Mo and Miramar.
Unfortunately, negativity sells.
Dave Hyde convinced me otherwise, though, because actually you're far better off if the team wins the title.
Oh yeah,
than you are if they stink. Yeah.
In terms of writing books, absolutely.
But I mean, in terms of being in the media,
percentage wise, you're going to have more losings.
Right. Well, exactly.
And it's always it's happier to be around a winning locker room, and you've got nice positive stories to tell.
You don't have to just go to the kicker.
I think I played in a team. I think I played in a team that was 11-2.
Oh God.
And we lost in the playoffs, and everyone was MFing us. All right, guys.
You were 11-2.
Shula can't win, do it. Shula can't do anything.
Well, that was every year.
Yeah, but
I love your Dolph Van Denny story when you were coming off the field, and there's this guy in this orange sombrero and these coach's shorts that he'd had for 30 years, and I think he was giving you the raspberry somehow.
No, so I forget we were playing. It was a hot 1:00 game. And it's a team put together like an 18-play drive on us. They'd get like first down, second down, third down, first.
Oh, jeez.
Second down, first down, second down, third, first. Just like nipping. And so we're coming off the field, and it was hot, and I'm pissed. And Dolph Van Denny's standing. He's got his hands on his hips, and he's tapping his toe like this. Like, what happened, guys? What are you? I tell you what, I jumped over. I tell you what, I jumped on top of it. I went from the toes to the back and down again. Came back. And then after the game, he waited around the locker room after I came out and apologized to me, and I just MF'd him again.
That'll teach him. All right, we're going to take our third final break. First, before we do, I'm going to do a big bite of this great burger sub, really cheeseburger sub here at Wicked Cheesesteaks for National Burger Day.
Very well,
and then we'll come back. Here we go.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, you really are doing it.
Oh, it's going off full bore. There you go.
All right, we'll be back from Wicked Cheesesteaks.
This is what it's evolved into, Mike.
That's right.
Hey, Lunchbox fans, is it time to sell your business? You've poured your heart and soul into your restaurant or business, and you want to see continue the legacy you have built. Trans World can help. Call me, Andy Cagnetta, at Transworld Business Advisors right now and see if it's time for you to retire and relax. Iconic brands like the Mai Kai, Mulligan's, Carlos and Pepe's, Mangoes, and many more turn to Transworld to help sell. Contact Transworld on Facebook or call 954-772-1122 or visit tworld.com. Again, that's 954-772-1122 or tworld.com.
When I'm looking for some wicked good food for a wicked good lunch, there's only one place to go. That's Wicked Cheesesteaks in Fort Lauderdale. It's at 4824 North Federal Highway, just south of Commercial Boulevard and across from Holy Cross Hospital. My friend Brian there, he will hook you up with some really tasty treats. They've got cheesesteaks, just like the best you can find in Philly, along with lobster rolls, because that's where he's from, Maine originally. And they have wings and pizza and everything you want to have a really good time. Wicked Cheesesteaks. They're open every day but Tuesday. Check them out online, wickedcheesesteaks.com. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Guess who's back and better than ever? Juan's. For the best in classic old school Chinese cuisine, a family-run South Florida favorite since 1966. It's at 664 North Federal Highway in Fort Lauderdale, open every day but Tuesday for lunch and dinner. Chef Alex is carrying on the family tradition that started 4 generations ago. It used to be known as Christina Juan's Mandarin House, and you're going to love it as Juan's. They've got all your favorites: wonton soup, spare ribs, egg rolls, dumplings, Peking duck, and more. Combo lunch specials daily and takeout and delivery. For more information, go to their Instagram page at juans.fl. If you're looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more, go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 and the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value for tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to Southern comfort food from a scratch kitchen, delicious drinks and house-made spirits from a craft bar, a great vibe inside and out with a spacious patio. I'm talking about Batch New Southern Kitchen and Tap, Fort Lauderdale, in the heart of the city at 525 North Federal Highway. It's open 7 days for lunch, dinner, and weekend brunch with classics like fried chicken and waffles and shrimp and grits, and creative items like pecan-crusted salmon and a fried green tomato BLT. And the drinks? Smooth sipping and so good. There's convenient free parking and a garage next door, happy hour at the bar, an entire patio, 4 to 7 Monday to Friday, and live music every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. It's pet and people friendly and with cozy fire pits for when the temperature dips. For reservations and more information, go to batchsouthernkitchen.com. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, even keel fish shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, upscale food and a down-home setting, the chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have daily happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. If you want great Italian food in a beautiful beachfront setting, have I got the place for you. Casa Calabria at the Ocean Manor Resort, 4040 Galt Ocean Drive in Fort Lauderdale. Highly rated across all the restaurant review platforms and totally Mike Mayo's Lunchbox approved. Delicious, authentic Southern Italian food in a cozy dining room overlooking the Atlantic. Live music in the lounge, full bar, and a great wine list. Owner Frank Talrico takes great pride in his family recipes from his native Calabria. Fresh fish and seafood, veal, house-made pastas, and marinara sauces smooth as silk. You gotta try the imported meats and cheeses on the antipasto platters, and don't miss that ricotta gnocchi. Fluffy little pillows straight from heaven. Casa Calabria, open for dinner Tuesday through Sunday, closed.
All right, we're back on the Lunchbox. We're going to wrap it up in a minute, but first we got to get to the food showdown breakdown of the potential finals. And I don't think, basketball wise, I know the basketball geeks are really excited about an OKC and Indiana potential matchup. I know the TV executives aren't, and the food critics like me. I mean, has there ever been a worse two cities?
Oh God!
Like, you know, usually if you have a sports bet going, and New York will, you know, there'll be a case of hot dogs or something, and versus San Francisco, Napa wine or something like. And Indianapolis, you got fucking a cold jug of milk and a steakhouse that has a shrimp cocktail as their most famous.
That's their most
because Indianapolis, as you know, Defo, is known for their shrimp farms.
Right.
You know, Lubie and I, we got shut out. A story now famous with what's his face getting a table. Jim Gray getting a table ahead of us.
Right.
So we leave St. Elmo's, and I'm like, okay,
no
who needs
big
a shrimp
Ross.
cocktail? The next place up in terms of culinary expertise and you know, legacy was White Castle.
Yeah,
the very next
really
place.
was. There was no other place.
It's a
We
great.
were there 3 times.
Indianapolis is a nice downtown, but there's nothing.
I hate
no
to
food,
harsh on it, but you know, again, the Indy 500, you get the jug of milk, so you get milk and shrimp cocktail is your wagering items in a matchup. And look, the shrimp cocktail. It's good cocktail sauce.
Yeah.
I can make good cocktail sauce. I don't need to go to Indianapolis.
What do you have to do to a shrimp to make it excel like
you need
that?
to put some hot sauce in it, put a ton of horseradish.
I mean, they have a very good defrosting method for the shrimp that they're bringing in from the Gulf. And then you go, okay, see, you know, I was a sports writer for a long time.
Okay, see, no.
And I'm trying to rack my brain. I said, you know what? I think I was in Oklahoma City once.
Yeah.
And I remember nothing about it. And then I realized, no, it was a golf tournament and it was in Tulsa.
No, it wasn't even Oklahoma
But
City.
if you got dropped from a parachute with a blindfold into the middle of Oklahoma City or Tulsa, could you tell them apart?
No, well, I'll throw another one in there because when I first started working at CBS 4, one of the first things I did, UM was in the College World Series. So Nebraska, Omaha, Nebraska.
Yeah, but at least
Omaha
you got
wasn't bad
steaks.
there,
You got cattle country there.
Yeah, but
I know it's a little grim restaurant.
It's a little grim. Yes, it is.
But at least you got, you know, you say Omaha, you say Omaha steaks. You say Oklahoma City, you say you get like chess pie is like something Midwestern.
Like cow chips.
Do you know what
chess
pie might be their food item in the Midwest? Chess pie is where you take ground up saltines. It's like a Depression era dessert, ground up saltines. And then you take a little bit of grit from the Great Plains, and then you mix in the tears from the Trail of Tears, and then you bake it, and you have chess pie. And so, like, there is nothing redeeming about anything in the food scene of Oklahoma City. I if anybody's out there that's been there and knows anything about it and want to prove me wrong,
I'd rather not. To be honest,
we were talking about it this morning. I mean, when have you ever, had somebody come up to you and go, "Hey, you know where I really want to go on vacation? Indianapolis, or Oklahoma City." I mean,
at least Indianapolis, you got the race, you got this and that. But so it's but from a food standpoint,
forget it.
And it's a great downtown. But
Oklahoma City is I only see two things there.
Yeah.
Which is chess pie and I don't know. Do they even have steers there in Oklahoma City?
I feel like it's
corn,
beef, and all that. But
beef.
Yeah, it's got to be kind of beef.
I know. And then we've got the NHL. Look, Florida is going to bring all the food to the table because we got great restaurants. And
I don't know that Edmonton is the Epicurious center of the universe.
You were asking me, what do they eat in Edmonton? I said moose blubber and oil, crude oil. They just chug it by the glass. So,
are there even restaurants there? I don't even know.
I think they just have igloos with some some of the Inuit, the natives, that are just like grilling up some pieces of moose.
Try the whale blubber.
You got to pick up a commuter flight and get to Toronto or somewhere.
So it's going to be Florida in a runaway if you're handicapping based on food.
Dallas, I don't know. What about Dallas?
If Dallas got
Dallas gets in, Dallas is a good food city,
good food town. Deep Ellum is the neighborhood that has some good funky restaurants.
They've got this
steakhouses.
There's a family there
Del
called
Frisco's.
the Papado family.
Okay,
and they've got they're in Houston and they got Papa's Italian, Papa's steak. They got every cuisine you can have. And they're all pretty good.
Oh, they're
really good.
No, Dallas. I always enjoyed going to Dallas for trips because there were good restaurants.
Yeah, good food,
good Mexican food, good obviously Texas style barbecue.
Big deal,
So but that's looking like a long shot at this point. It probably will be a rematch of last year. And Edmonton, now you can tell why they're going to be have fire in their bellies because
they're starving.
They're starving.
You're looking for. So we went to this place. You've been to you know where Tocado is?
Tocado, sure, on the beach.
Yeah. So we were at
Tocado
one night last year during the Stanley Cup Finals, in Edmonton. The team was having dinner at Tocado.
Okay.
The Oilers. Yeah.
Nice. And a lot of the Panthers, now that they live and train and have their practices east side of town, Victoria Park, Rio Vista, a lot of them do go into the Daniels Steakhouse too.
Yeah.
I know Bobrovsky and Ekblad are semi-regulars there, but could also, have you been getting any Dolphins or local athletes at Catch and Cut?
Yeah, we've had a number of guys come in, a number of people. We've had, the two twins from Miami, the two basketball twins.
The influencers.
Cavender twins.
Cavender twins, they came in. Yeah, we've had some people come
Don't tell Sarni that. He'll be like stalking, staying in front of the sidewalk looking for that. But were they good tippers?
I don't know. I don't get into that. I don't get into that.
Sorry, I'm the worst.
They may ask for a tip for themselves to come in.
Yeah, that's true.
Give me 20, don't come in.
These influencers are shameless.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Bo, it's always a pleasure.
Thank you. Thanks for coming out. Me.
Defo, as usual. Tomorrow, we're going to be celebrating. Yeah,
Burger Day.
Burger Beast will be joining us and giving us his impressions of his favorite burgers around South Florida. That's going to be fun. And then back at our usual race place on Friday, Gulfstream Park, 10 Palms. Always a fun time. All right, thanks everybody for tuning in. Remember to enjoy every sandwich and enjoy every burger.